Did you know that some humor can often be the best disguise for fear? Today we are going to share some outrageous tales from the world-famous Clown Motel. The Clown Motel, sitting snug in Nevada, has been the epicenter of many spine-chilling encounters. When you step in, you're greeted with 1,000 grinning faces, creepy clown dolls of all shapes and sizes, watching your every move. Let's get into it. History of the Clown Motel. Back in the day, specifically in April 2019, a fresh idea came to life for a place known as America's most frightening motel. The man behind this, Vijay Mehar, thought of this exciting new project. Mehar was no stranger to the hotel business and had heaps of quality experience under his belt. This place is the world-famous Clown Motel, and it has become more than just a unique spot on the globe. Now let's be clear, this isn't your average motel. It's constantly changing and growing every day, and it's captured the attention of a wide variety of people. So who might you find at this Clown Motel? It's the #1 pick for all those brave ghost hunters. In addition, the paranormal investigators are always thrilled by the mysterious. But it's not just for these fearless explorers. It's also a haven for those who simply love a good scare. In fact, people who get a kick out of spooky fun regularly make a beeline for this place. Plus, you know those YouTubers whose channels are all about the chilling and the creepy? They're attracted to the Clown Motel like ants to sugar. And don't forget the horror filmmakers. They can't resist the spine-tingling, hair-raising vibes of this place. Oh, and let's not leave out the clown lovers. For them, this motel is practically a pilgrimage. But it's not just the clowns or the eerie atmosphere that draws people in. It's also the history behind it all. The Clown Motel was actually built on what used to be an old cemetery for miners who had passed away during a plague. This adds a whole new level of spookiness to the place, as many guests have reported seeing ghosts and experiencing strange occurrences during their stay. But the history of the Clown Motel doesn't stop there. It was also a popular spot for travelers passing through on their way to Tonopah, Nevada during the Silver Rush in the early 1900s. Many believe that some of these travelers never left, and their spirits still roam the motel to this day. With a history like that, it's no surprise that there may have been many spooky encounters at the Clown Motel. From strange noises in the night to unexplained footsteps and objects moving on their own, guests have reported a wide range of paranormal activity during their stay. Now, let's discover some true horror stories from those brave enough to stay at the Clown Motel. Room 108 in the motel that is known for its paranormal activities. Imagine walking in and hearing vague, indistinguishable voices with no one in sight, or finding your belongings mysteriously moved or even disappeared. All these peculiar happenings are believed to be the handiwork of a ghost, lovingly referred to as the Trickster. This ghost, it's been said, hails from the nearby cemetery and assumes the guise of a jolly, mischievous clown as he interacts with the guests at the motel. One guest tells a story of waking up in the middle of the night to find a clown standing at the foot of their bed, only to disappear when they turned on the light. Another guest shares how they woke up to find their suitcase completely unpacked and neatly folded clothes laid out on the bed. The Trickster is known for playing pranks on guests, but some claim that he has also been known to protect them from harm. One guest reported feeling a presence in their room and, upon checking the security footage, found a clown figure standing outside their door during the night. He even reportedly appeared in a photo taken by a guest, giving the term photobomb a whole new meaning. Once upon a time, there was a housekeeper named Andrea Selig at the Clown Motel. She used to share tales of her experiences, saying she often faced a high level of anxiety in every room of the motel. How intriguing! She even claimed to witness doors closing all by themselves. The Clown Motel, world-renowned and steeped in history, has not always been the same. Founded by Leona and Leroy Clarence in 1985, the motel eventually changed ownership. In a mysterious twist, Bob and Deborah Perchetti bought the motel in 1995. What's startling about this transaction is that the deal was supposedly sealed on nothing more than a restaurant napkin. Fast forward to 2019, the Clown Motel caught the eye of its present owner, Hame Anand. I must admit, it frightened me a tiny bit at the beginning, disclosed Anand in a feature by Thrillist. Find it hard to believe? Well, I couldn't even sleep in my own room. Anand has harbored a unique fascination with clowns since his exciting circus visit when he was 14 years old. With the Clown Motel in his personal collection now, Anand generously added about 200 of his own clown figurines to the existing family of 800 at the motel. Though initially scared, Anand later brushed off his fears, believing that the so-called ghostly inhabitants of the motel carry no malice. Even after guests have reported mysteriously self-closing doors, unexplained whispers, and his own uncanny experience of hearing noises from vacant rooms, Anand is undeterred. He confidently says, "This is how they let me know. We are here, but you need not fear." She has lived through generations of travelers and miners, survived multiple ownership changes, and even appeared in movies like Clown Motel, Spirits Arise. The Clown Motel is not just a place to spend the night. It's an experience that will leave you with shivers down your spine. Imagine stepping into a room that would instantly trigger a feeling of extreme discomfort in a bone-chilling manner. That's exactly how I felt when I entered that room in the Clown Motel. Trust me when I say this, I was not exaggerating. My lifelong phobia of clowns originated from a youthful encounter with the frightening film It, and to this day I can't help but be wary of drains when strolling at night. The thought of a creepy clown suddenly emerging always haunts me, and to make matters worse, I have an unnerving anticipation of spotting a clown each time I go to pick up the bed linens. Gives me shivers just thinking about it. You might assume that the sheer terror of the Clown Motel lies solely in its clown theme, but there's more to it. There's a spooky twist that makes it even scarier. The motel is located in Tonopah, a historical mining town from the Wild West era. In 1901, a graveyard was established, and you won't believe where. Right where the Clown Motel is now situated. Gravestones line up next to the motel, marking the resting places of those who met all kinds of grim fates. From plague victims to unfortunate souls shot from behind by resentful significant others. I started hearing odd noises at night, like someone whispering my name or tapping on the walls. But when I checked, no one else was in the room with me. I even found strange red handprints appearing on my bathroom mirror every morning, despite cleaning it thoroughly before bed. And then there were the clowns. They seemed to follow me everywhere. In my dreams, on the television, even hidden behind curtains. During the sunny summer of 2017, an exciting idea popped up in my mind. Along with a chum from my high school days, I decided to set off on a memorable road excursion. We planned to make a few pit stops along the path, but there was one main point of interest, one genuinely peculiar place on our schedule. The striking Clown Motel in Tonopah, Nevada. Now, some of you might be scratching your heads, wondering why we would ever choose to stay at a motel filled with clowns. To tell you the truth, until a few years prior, I wasn't even aware such a place existed. My acquaintance with the Clown Motel came thanks to a trending meme on the internet featuring this curious location. I've always had a penchant for eerily charming places, but the common fear of clowns never made much sense. So, flirting with our adventurous spirits, my buddy and I packed our bags. I headed off to this unusual motel to see if it was as thrilling as they said. As our car slipped into the parking space, my eyes began an eager scan of the surrounding landscape. There it was, the motel, standing exactly as it had in the photos, cheek by jowl with a graveyard. The parking area was sparsely populated. The few vehicles present seemed to veer away from the office building, its door strangely adorned with a closed sign. A slight twinge of unease started to bubble within me. Had they forgotten about our arrival, or had an unexpected event pulled away the staffer who was supposed to be on duty? My curiosity drew me closer to the office door, where I noticed something peculiar. A piece of paper, seemingly ordinary, was taped to the door, and there, sketched in pencil, was my name. I peeled off the paper and opened it to find an explanation. The office would come back to life at 4:30 p.m., a whole hour and a half away considering our 3 p.m. arrival. The office would come back to life at 4:30 p.m., a whole hour and a half away considering our 3 p.m. arrival. Interestingly, they had placed my room key and the room number under the welcome mat where I stood. I bent to lift the mat, and sure enough, there they were, a bona fide metal key, a relic I hadn't seen in a motel since my travels in the early 90s, along with the room number. Meeting a painted clown at the entrance as I fumbled with the door key was our initial greeting. With a bit of a struggle, the door finally gave in, and our adventure began. A couple of clown portraits were hanging above our beds, but outdated is the only appropriate word I can think of to describe our initial view. A handful of equipment scattered around the room must have been at least 15 years old. The furniture was noticeably worn, and an old smell wafted through the room. My buddy immediately began inspecting the room, worried that a clown might just leap out at any minute. Written by Joel Terranova and published on August 17, 2017, 7 years ago. While I can't confirm that the Clown Motel is a hotspot for homicidal clowns, there was certainly an eerie feeling about it. After emptying our car, our next plan was to hang tight for the office to open again at 4:30. This place was the home of all the clown dolls that we were quite excited to see. Meanwhile, we spent our time in the room, thinking about what to do next. At this point in our adventure, we had been on the road for 7 days, and were starting to miss home. We were thinking about spending the night in the Clown Motel. If we chose to leave after visiting the office, we could drive to another inn near the border of Arizona for a little while. This would save us 4 hours on our journey back home. We had reached the Clown Motel, looked at it in person, and snapped lots of photos. At that point, we decided not to stay overnight, a choice that I feel bad about even now. 4:30 p.m. finally came, and we made our way to the Clown Motel office. The closed sign was no longer there, and we smoothly walked in. What lay before our eyes was a common motel office packed with hundreds of clown dolls. They differed in size and expressions. There was even one of Ronald McDonald. Besides us, 3 men were in the room, a young man who remained silent and 2 older men. Among the 2, one was Bob Perchetti, the owner, who turned out to be a very nice man. Mr. Perchetti asked us straight away if we were ghost hunters. We told him we weren't. As per him, paranormal investigators often visit the Clown Motel. We chatted about different things and paid for our room. Then Mr. Perchetti showed us the items on sale. Mugs with the Clown Motel logo, red clown noses, t-shirts, and more. As it turned out, the office was also a gift shop. I didn't want to go home empty-handed, so I bought a mug and a few clown noses as gifts. But what I really wanted was a doll. When I asked him if I could buy one, he said no initially, but then remembered he had a few for sale. I found one I liked immediately, a circus clown in blue with a slightly loose head, which I fondly named Loppy Head. I was overjoyed when I bought it. We bid farewell to Mr. Perchetti and the clowns and left Tonopah shortly. I can't promise you that the Clown Motel is full of killer clowns, but it had something that felt weird. I'm happy that I visited it, but I don't wish to go back there, even though I wish I had stayed the night. Maybe if I was around, but I honestly can't see myself in such a situation again. As we drove away from the Clown Motel, my mind was filled with questions. Who were those men in the office? Were they just employees, or did they have a deeper connection to the motel? And what about Mr. Perchetti, the friendly owner with an eerie collection of clown dolls? I couldn't shake off the feeling that there was more to this place than just a quirky motel. Perhaps it was the graveyard right next door, or the closed office with a handwritten note on the door. Whatever it may be, one thing is for sure. Our visit to the Clown Motel will always be a memorable and slightly unsettling experience. As we continued our journey home, I couldn't help but wonder about other strange and unusual places we may encounter on our travels. These were just a few examples of the strange and unusual places that can be found all around the world, like this Clown Motel. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content. And why not share your own experiences with strange and unusual places? We would love to hear about it in the comments below.